This call is being recorded.
Oh,
Okay, wonderful.
may I get your place and time of birth, please?
Yes, you may. It is Chicago, Illinois at 7:50 a.m.
50?
50. Yes.
All right, cool. Okay, Virgo sun and rising as a Pisces moon. That is amazing. Divine,
Is it
actually.
now?
Oh, yes. And you know what? This is going to blow
Well,
your mind. So
okay.
I had a reading at 10 a.m. With a woman who, just like you, has Virgo rising and Pluto 28 degrees. I'm mind.
Wow.
And then she actually also has her moon in Pisces 1 degree. So I'm like mind blown.
Wow.
Yeah,
Today's the day. Today's
right.
our day.
And I mean, like, I have crazy coincidences like that, but like
Mhm.
this might take the cake. I'm not gonna lie. This is profound. It's
I
impossible.
always bring the magic, you know.
You really do. Actually, that's the first thing I wanted to say about your chart. You're quintessentially and extremely a personification of divine magic. Like you're full. Whenever I see rising sun, moon, and mutable signs, it's just like magic, magic, magic. So that's what I come to also like embrace about Virgo risings. Y'all are really magic. Like I experienced it and it was just really like fun. And then I realized it is impossible for me to do a natal chart with Virgo energy, and there's not some level of insane precision. So you have
Mm.
like Sun on your Venus, you have Pluto exactly on the rising, you have Neptune next to Neptune, Jupiter, Mars
Mhm.
on the North Node. So I really like that North Node in Aquarius. I think Cat Williams was born the day after you, or
Mm.
whatnot, the day before you because he's Moon Aqua, North Node, and I realized that kind of lends into a lot of his comedic genius. Him knowing. So you being a moon in Pisces now makes you born in that full moon cycle. And as a master critic, the first thing I want to honor is that you're 28 degrees rising. I'm going to share with you an alien construct article about
Okay.
what it means to have your Pluto on the rising. And because Uranus falls in the first, I'm also going to add Uranus. So Pluto instrument aliens can identify enemies, confront with true courage and fearlessness, cause others to see what's occurring on deeper levels, and just kind of like how we started. I mean, I can definitely love how with the Pluto rising, you're very intimidating because you'll just cut to the core and break down a lot of
Right.
that needs to be exposed or really brought focus to. And it could be very intimidating to people who are fake or full of crap, but
Right.
definitely very, very necessary. I like to think Virgo really does the good work that everyone else just either doesn't get to or can't do. But I just kind of want to emphasize the importance of Pluto being on your rising because this makes you an instrument of Hades or Pluto, and it
Mm.
makes you an instrument of awakening. You're going to awaken critical perspectives and a way to look at things that could actually very well hurt their feelings, but it's just what they need to hear. And it won't hurt their feelings if they're not in their ego. It's usually going to be something that should be thanked for, right? But I'm just still kind
Right.
of looking at the precision here. And then Uranus in the first, even though it's ruled by the second, as an instrument alien, you can see the future. You can talk to anyone of any station or status in life. Step to the beat of your own drum. Inspire political leadership. Use your body as an amplifier of energy, as a means of broadcasting information that helps free others who are stuck somehow, lead humanity into the new age, and express genius. Because it's in Libra, this is now the social quality of your power and
Mhm.
the unconventional quality of the social skills you possess that make you very eccentric in the way you socialize with others. Because with your moon, with your sun and rising in Virgo, your social personality, you're the critic, and Venus is on
Right.
your sun and rising, so this adds a real beauty to the way you express yourself, a very critical beauty that takes account of all the details. I love Venus and Virgo as a Venus Taurus. Venus and Virgo makes that list, and you have to fall into the list, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's just you're not going to evoke that, but still that desire. But Venus and Virgo, even though they say it's in its fall here, I still think it's a very real, experienced heart that enables you. I think the reason why it's in its fall though is you can be so focused and aware of flaws in others that it
Right.
gives you more to love. I think that's another thing people don't understand about Venus Virgo. You can kind of love the imperfection and perfection because there's that love of service and fixing, but you have the moon in Pisces. So that completes this critical awareness and analysis with this divine soul receptivity. And so this is the complete form of Virgo where you're receptive to the metaphysical and the unseen, and Pisces moons have this ability to sense the vibration around everything. So you feel everything around you. Because
Mm.
your rising is 28 degrees, right? I always like to reference this. President Trump and Drake are 29-degree Leo rising. Where your Mercury is and I have 27 degrees Taurus rising. So that's just an idea of the importance of the rising sign degree. I'm using the equal sign system though. So every
Okay.
house for you is 28 degrees, even your MC in
Mm.
Gemini, which is a
Wow.
mastery. It's a master, true, enlightened legacy. You're going to change the way the world thinks. Your
Yeah.
legacy is to change the world. And Saturn's in Gemini. So you're here to really come into very powerful positions of authority where effectively your word is law because you have very
Right.
strong integrity of truth. And square the
Right.
Virgo sun, it's going to come off that you're finicky and maybe you may nag, but really you just don't play these games. Like you're going to be very on point with really fleshing out the facts and what's
Right.
really true, which I think is one of the most magical parts about you. Because
Thank
now
you.
with this on point precise aspect with Neptune and Sagittarius, which is your clairvoyant visions, which are
Mm.
anchored and strengthened with Saturn and Gemini to align your visions with truth, you actively warp reality around you based on what
Right.
you visualize and imagine. And unlike most other people with this energy, your Virgo sun in the 12th gives you keen analytical details of how reality is changing moment to moment based on what you feel and think, which is just supernatural. That is so supernatural. It's very magical.
Mhm.
It's so 12th house.
Everything you're saying is completely accurate. I
Thank
mean,
you.
it explains a great deal of why I do what I do, right? And how I do what I do, even on social media. And I'll get quiet so I can hear the rest because I know we have limited time. Please.
Please don't hesitate to interrupt if there's anything
Okay.
you want to mention. That's totally fine. And I love that you said how because that is the question Virgo answers. So Pisces answers why, and Virgo
Mhm.
answers how. Gemini
Mhm.
answers what, and then if Gemini is the word in the dictionary, Sagittarius is what the word means. So it answers what things mean. And so
Mhm.
having
So
all
all the answers, everything is answered if that's the case. Everything is complete.
and I would say especially for you because you have all these mutable sign axes. Like I have my
Mhm.
sun in Gemini, and the sun is so big, it's a lot of energy. But I don't have any Virgo, I don't have any Pisces, I don't have any Sag. I'm kind of like
Mhm.
spiritually blind. Like I'm very oblivious in social situations, whereas you're gonna
Mm.
notice every single social cue to the
I do.
extreme detail, and
I
you're
do.
gonna right, which is a superpower. It's like enhanced synesthesia, which is amazing. It's just the 12th house nature of this magic is going to be very misunderstood because not
Mm.
everyone will believe how you're seeing every detail, especially in a
Right.
moment where things won't necessarily look the way that you perceive it to be. And
Right.
unlike me, where you have every mutable answer question, every mutable position, it's like you have all the answers in a given moment. You lock onto it in that moment and you synthesize and flesh out. The only difficulty here is, you know, sometimes the moon in Pisces is going to feel like doing nothing and just really feeling the vibe, whereas the sun
Right.
in Virgo is going to want to break down and analyze. And the magic between Pisces and Virgo, which as you can tell, my astro nerd is just fascinated right now. Like your chart is very oh yeah. So Virgo breaks everything down to an individual part, right? Like if you take a watch, you can look at any social situation in the 12th house. You're breaking down and analyzing the abstract quality and nature
Right.
of the social environment you're around. You can break down anything, especially with Pluto here. However, the way to understand that at a different level now takes into account that Pisces takes everything that is taken, into that broken down, and Pisces feels how everything is correlated into one whole.
Right.
And so you can feel that interconnectivity collectively as a collective social personality, where you feel this everything in the world, and then you're aware of how that plays out culturally and socially. And
Right.
so this definitely makes you a very important social influence, especially on social media, because you're going to bring people up to speed to what's real. Because everyone is going to have their opinions. Everyone is going to have their insight on what they believe is happening versus what is actually really happening. And
Right.
I always feel
I'm
like
often telling people I really am who I am, right? And
right,
generally people cry around me, even in social settings. Like I could be at an art gallery and then someone comes up to talk to me and the next thing you know I'm all the way in and then they're crying and then they're holding me and thanking me. Like I really like this is really who I am, right? So I don't socialize often, but when I do, it's so intense and then after that, I'm inside for like 3 to 5 days because that was okay. Yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. Okay, now I'm here doing this. Yeah.
I really appreciate that because you also expertly just explained what Chiron in your seventh, eighth house is, because
Mm,
you directly heal authentically other people. It can trigger them because you're holding space with your own eccentric quality of just being fully yourself for others
right.
to be authentic. And if they can't, it'll be triggered and they'll get in their ego because a lot of this
Right.
Chiron and Aries attacks directly the ego. And I kind of like how it's kind of like how you called me out. You said that I project. And so it's like, you can kind of tell when I'm not fully projecting. And like I could have gotten in my ego about that when really you're just being super real, you know what I mean? And it's like holding
Yeah.
me. And so this is
Yeah.
that energy and power you're going to give to people, and it's going to kind of force them to kind of get out of their ego or to just kind of heal more aspects of their identity. And I would like to say that's what unexpectedly opposite Uranus can just make people cry. You know what I'm saying? Just make people really feel understood, feel seen. Uranus opposite Chiron is also healing the need to, other people will think you're crazy. Is it because you're crazy? No, stupid people think you're crazy, but because you're
Right.
so genius, the progressive nature of how what you do is outside the norm and how you think outside the box can really
Right.
intimidate people in the best of ways, I'd say. Because
Hmm.
once again, I feel like there's a disservice done to Virgo with Neptune in Pisces, to where people don't respect the facts. People don't respect the reality you share because it viciously destroys their illusions.
Right.
And you know, it's a work of service that not many have the courage to do. And so to see that you have North Node in Aquarius, which by the way, you're connected to us in 1990,
Mm,
71, and 89, 90, 71, and I think 70 or 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 72, but yeah, 71 and 70 have North Node in Aqua. And so it's our destiny to lead humanity into the new age. It's our destiny to live outside the box, to be
right.
different, progressive. You have a humanitarian path. And with
Right.
Mars retrograde there, you have very unconventional desire and action ability to really, act knowledgeably based on the collective. And
Right.
because it falls in your fifth, but is connected to your sixth, this is the advanced, extraordinary techniques and habits and lifestyle you live that literally lets you live an advanced life, but in service to pimping other people's lifestyles, which I feel like is your true destiny.
Mm,
It's like
mm.
it's like you can unlock the unconscious beliefs that have people doubting their own heart so that they
Right.
can align with knowledge and logic, the
Right.
spirituality they want to live at a heartfelt level.
Right. That's exactly what I teach. How about that? That's exactly what I teach. So I'm a sound therapist. I don't know if are super familiar with my work, but I'm a sound therapist. So what I do is I amplify Reiki energy with vibrations, and
Wow.
then I use self-directed compassion to clear blocks. So not only am I holding or creating a container where healing is taking place on multiple levels,
Right.
I'm also encouraging them to take responsibility, to take a look, and then activating their power and their ability to move past whatever their preconceived notions are of limitation, and which includes lack, right? I am because of this, and of course, I'm not invalidating anyone's experience. However, and you don't necessarily always have to look at a particular thing in order to rid yourself of it because it's present vibrationally. Like you could just release it vibrationally without having to know exactly what it is. But nonetheless, this is the crux of my work. Yeah, truly, at this juncture, it is the crux of my work. And it is my intention to be of service to humanity and make the intangible tangible for them, right? So I have access to maybe as high as the 12th dimension at this juncture. And
And I
so I bring these intangible frequencies, anchor them here, and then make them very tangible for the common person so that they can heal, you know?
I really appreciate that because you also help me understand Mercury in your 12th house square Jupiter in Scorpio, 29 degrees. Jupiter 29 degrees is such a huge deal. It's a
Mm,
mastery of your pure ability. And like a
mm,
lot of the 12th third house is bringing into more understanding the quantum realm, these theta
right.
wave states, and a lot of what you do with Reiki, like I've always been skeptical about it, but like
Mm,
the way you present it, it's like you make it real for people. You like break it
mm,
down practically. So it's not like because I feel like some people do this craft. It's not like wrong how they do it, but you can tell they don't really have that much of a real understanding of what they do versus
correct.
everything you said. Like you make it clinical. It's very amazing with the real effect. And that is
Thank
so
you.
awesome.
Thank you. It feels like it's something that they are learning. For me, it's something that comes through me. It feels like this is something that in fact, I know it's something that I've been doing for lifetimes, right? And in this lifetime, I'm slated, not to be persecuted for having this level of power and presenting it, because I'm ushering, like, okay, everybody on the boat, because we're going somewhere, right? Like I came here to get you because I don't have to come back. And so we're going to do this work, everybody. And if you're coming, come on. You know what I mean? Like that. Very much so. Yeah,
No, that's
very much.
that's very amazing. I love how you said that, especially down to, coming from different lifetimes, right?
Right.
Wait, okay. So, what's also important is really, a lot of how I would say, nice. You step into, because you mentioned it before with definitely the past lives and um well, I just kind of wanted to touch on Mercury in the 12th because this is going to
Okay.
be, it's like you can hear people's hearts
Yes.
regardless of what like they show, and it's like you help unlayer blocks to their hearts. And so I
Yes.
like what you said about lifetime. South Node Leo means that you come from source. You come straight
Mm.
from source and you're
Mm-hmm.
going, or it could also, be your connection to the ancient future. And this
Mm.
is you really directing people towards, that right life. And then Jupiter in the third is just such a very pure golden attitude that connects with Neptune, your clairvoyant visions. And this could be
Yes.
so blended that it's experienced as a thought instead of like
Mm.
an intuition. It's just like a very powerful knowing and intuitive wisdom that
Yes.
it abundantly expands the depth with which you can psychologically engage in people. So this is like the mastery of emotional intelligence. And
Mm.
your moon in Pisces feels other people's vibes so magically. It's
Mm.
unmistakable. You can feel, aspects of their behavior. So the square to Saturn is to make sure that for the sake of other people, you're not hard on yourself because the Virgo
Mm.
will not play that. The Virgo won't let you be hard on yourself. But I think the Pisces moon can be so compassionate towards,
Yeah.
square Neptune. You can literally feel intuitive aspects of other people that are beyond them. And so you can
Yeah.
know it can make it easy for you to not make excuses for people, but to just be so compassionate towards people. that
Yes.
you might be harder on yourself for other
I
people.
actually always speak to what I see. It doesn't matter what you're showing me. I just speak to what I see because that's what I know. Everything else is superficial. It's the facade on the house. But what's actually happening inside of the house, that would be the heart, right? Like I'm looking, like although the outside of this is absolutely stunning and amazing, but when I look closer, this foundation is not settled. There's a huge crack right here. And then when I go inside the house, I can see how unkempt it is, although it's beautiful, right? Like it's beautiful and it has potential, but there is a crack in the foundation, which tells me that there's instability here. Like I know that. So that's what I talk to. Nothing else. Nothing else. And
That's
then it
all
opens itself up to me so that it actually asks me to tell you this.
right. Okay.
Please, I'm so glad you're here because I've been trying to let them know, but they just can't. So I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I always feel like I'm being sent.
Right.
Always.
Right. And that's what makes me respect Saturn in your chart. You know, Saturn and Gemini is the authority of truth. You know,
Mm,
your legacy is going to be where people count on you to say things that they know will be true because it's
right.
there's evidence for it, and you know it's a very powerful karmic position, especially trying Uranus, because now this is going to make more unconventional how you automate this income and come into this is this definition of working smarter than you work hard, because Virgos work hard but you are a genius smart worker too. And
Thank you.
a lot of Saturn finishing out of Aquarius is solidifying a lifestyle that you just set and forget. And I mean, maybe not even forget, but you just set and it just makes more advanced how you do what you do. And a lot of this is what you've built since, you know, post 2008 and before that. So,
Mm,
congratulations. If anything, you completed the Saturn return 2019. And
thank you.
I would just say moving forward, now that Jupiter is in Pisces, without making this too much of a transit forecast, you're evolving all your relationships. In fact, Jupiter is what? 1 degrees now. It's about to go 2 degrees by like tomorrow, and it's going to evolve your soul proper. And you're going to
Mm,
expand how much more you feel divinely as a
mm,
divine master. So, as a critic, you have the vibration of divine mastery. You are the divine critic, you are the divine master, you are the divine magical being that
mm,
holds space for the collective to really facilitate the real social critical perspective, basically the real, like you're the divine receipts and facts, where out of thin air
mm,
you pull out the reality that people may even been trying to hide. That's really the theme I get. Like you can try and run, you can try to hide, but you can't escape
right,
master, right? So
right,
that's so
right.
beautiful. I feel like even just having this talk with you has blessed me. So, you know, whatever,
Oh,
I think that's a gift you give people, right? Like when people are ready to complete their understanding of the divine and reality,
mhm,
they come
mhm.
across your path. The universe sends you to them. And like you
Yeah,
said, everything as far as like revealing their inner world. And I love that. Like Neptune attached to the fourth is this very creative inner astral realm. And then you bring that into the reality of truth, Saturn in the 10th, to align them to their higher purpose. So
yes.
it's very beautiful. And to know
Thank
that
you.
you do this with the sound waves, I'm really wanting to learn more that as far as just like, you know, study it, get it, and I would definitely love to reach out to you for your services and maybe even an
Please,
interview and what you do.
please, please, please.
Okay.
I would absolutely love that and welcome it. And welcome it. Period. You have my phone number, do you not?
I believe so. I believe so.
I can offer it to you so that you have it at a glance, and then please reach out and let's create some space where we can communicate. I would love that. And I absolutely love your work. Because of my nature, I can see truth. And the moment I came across your page, I said, oh, I love this. I listen, I share. It's obvious. I share it on my page, and I would only share it because I recognize the level of authenticity. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here in this time. I appreciate all of the magic that you bring. I just love you, and I love you without having to know you personally, but I can feel you. And I don't throw the word love around,
Right.
like pancakes for everyone. No, no, not at all. And I also appreciate your genius. I recognize you. I see you very, very clearly, very clearly.
And that means so much. I'm really grateful, and I will make sure to reach out to you too, so we can
Okay,
definitely.
wonderful. Wonderful. Shall I offer you the number or do you have it?
Um, you let me make sure. Let me see.
Okay. Okay.
7 axioms. Oh, you don't? Yeah, I don't have your number.
Okay. Let me offer it to you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 323
Okay.
680
Hmm.
7703.
Beautiful. All right.
I think so too. Thank you. And I heard you say something about Hades.
Yes. So Pluto, Hades is exactly on your rising. And so that
Mm,
makes you an instrument of this energy and power. So it's
okay.
kind of like it's like wearing those clothes and you kind of harness those powers of death and resurrection. So this is why you will
Mm,
very powerfully at a very core level. It's unconscious. So people may be unconscious to how deeply you trigger them and how this kind of
mm.
fixes a lot too, which is very fascinating.
Okay. Okay. When should I schedule our next call in terms of transits?
Yeah, so we can probably, I would say, uh, anytime after your seventh house. Like we can probably do Aries season, so we can get the next
Okay.
year, the new year. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Okay.
way seventh
Perfect.
house will be cleared, and we can go from seventh to first.
Okay. Awesome. I accept, and I will look for your call or text to connect.
Sounds
Thank
great.